He's such a hero. He's not one to want the spotlight, but he's not here, and I get to make that call. And I want everybody to know what a great man he was, and he is a hero. And I want my daughter to grow up and know that her daddy was a hero, and it came at a high price, very high price.
Claudia Rupsich, ABC 15 Arizona.
A Tucson man says he fell victim to an online scam after trying to buy an RV from letgo.com, and eBay was also part of that mix. I found out more about how that scam works and how you can avoid it.
They have a pretty elaborate setup here.
On December 4th, Fred Etheridge says he went online in search of a travel trailer for work and found this ad on letgo.com. He saw the $800 price tag and was sold.
Everything seemed perfectly fine. I paid for it.
Fred says he was quickly roped into a string of emails from a woman named Diane.
I emailed the lady. She emailed me back. We emailed back and forth a couple of times, and she said they would get in touch with me. eBay would get in touch with me with an invoice.
The invoices showed up in Fred's email along with a customer service number. So Fred called and says he was told to buy 4 eBay gift cards at $200 a pop. And less than 24 hours later,
the next morning, the day it was supposed to be shipped out, they called and told me that I needed insurance. It just rung a bell. Something that $600 insurance on a trailer, only paid $800 for it, all refundable.
And that's when Fred realized he was swindled out of $800. He checked and says the eBay gift cards were all used up. He immediately called eBay for help and reported it to police.
They checked into it and told me it was a scam.
KGUN 9 reached out to both letgo.com and eBay about the issue. Letgo.com sent a statement, and it says, in part, "We don't tolerate someone misusing our marketplace like this. We encourage this user to contact our customer service team as soon as possible so we can look into this and help local law enforcement with an investigation." We also dialed the number on Fred's invoice. And the first time around, no answer. Then days later, we got a woman on the line who sounded legit. As for the email we sent to the woman named Diane, there was no response. Both companies say you should report scams to customer service ASAP and the FBI to help keep online criminals at bay. Letgo.com has since removed that ad from its website.
Be careful. Be very careful.
And another note is that a quick Google search of a phone number can give you details on if an online ad is a scam. We also have a full response from eBay and letgo.com on our website, kgun9.com. And if there's something that you want us to check out or investigate here in Southern Arizona, call the 9 on Your Side hotline. The number is right there on your screen. And now to the fires burning in Australia. The fire season started there in late July, and climate scientists say the wildfires will be on the rise as the planet continues to warm up. Meanwhile, a University of Arizona professor says Southern Arizona could face similar conditions. None of Your Side's Brian Brennan found out when it comes to climate, Arizona and Australia have a lot in common.
Fire raging above the trees and smoke blocking out the sun. Australian families try to find shelter, and the animals do their best to outrun the flames.
They're sitting climatologically in the southern hemisphere in a very similar sort of spot. They're getting absolutely slammed this year, and we worry that at some point it might be our turn.
Oceanographer Jo Ellen Russell says parts of Australia and the southwest United States are like mirror images of each other. They have the Simpson Desert, we have the Sonoran. Both have been generally warming, and both areas depend on westerly winds for winter rains.
The westerly jets are basically migrating slightly poleward, which is bad for us in southern Arizona because it means we might get fewer storms in the winter. It's bad for Australia because their jets also migrating south, which help contribute to their massive drought.
Russell says the increase in wildfires in Australia are a product of climate change.
It's warm. This is the anomaly in temperature. This is how much warmer it is everywhere in the ocean. All those robot floats are telling me the same story.
And she says our region could be heading towards a similar fate.
Here comes the heat. It's already here. The ocean's given us back just a little bit. And I think we should brace.
In addition to preparing for future fires, Russell says Arizonans have a good reason to lead the charge for clean energy and reducing carbon emissions.
And that was our Brian Brennan reporting. 6 Forest Service workers from Arizona and a meteorologist from the National Weather Service office in Tucson traveled to Australia to help out. All right, Carla Dix joins us now, and it was a wonderful day here, but they were talking about the similarities, so that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's right. And fortunately here, we got some really decent rainfall right at the end of the year, so it really helped kind of eradicate some of our drought issues over the southwest. So let's zoom in there, and there we can see that we're still seeing some dry conditions for the northeastern part of Arizona, but for southeastern Arizona, we've pretty much wiped out the drought that did exist. Remember, we were doing really well, and then we went into the fall and that drought started expanding once again. Well, now it's contracting once again back into the northeastern part of the state because of that rain that we had in 2019. We're getting off to kind of a dry start for 2020, but we do have some rain and snow back in the forecast that we're going to talk about later. But here's the high temperatures that we enjoyed today. 67 degrees in Tucson, 71 in Phoenix, went up to 72 degrees in Nogales, and it looks like we've got some more mild weather on the way, and then we're going to talk about that next change in the weather coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Kyler. Up next, one of the first criminal trials from the Me Too movement started today, and now 2 years after allegations of Harvey Weinstein, well, he's in court. The major developments announced about the disgraced Hollywood mogul. That's next. You're watching KGUN 9 News on the CW Tucson. Major developments today in the case involving disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein as his trial for 5 sex crimes starts in New York City. Now he's facing new charges of rape and other sex crimes in Los Angeles and the possibility of life in prison if convicted. Trevor Ault has a look at the trial.
Today, just hours after his rape trial began in New York City, now infamous Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein hit with new serious allegations in Los Angeles. The district attorney there announcing separate charges of rape and other sex crimes.
We believe the evidence will show that the defendant used his power and influence to gain access to his victims and then committed violent crimes against them.
Weinstein was already charged with 5 sex crimes in New York City. That long-awaited trial beginning this morning with a procedural hearing. Both sides accusing each other of abominable behavior.
At some point, the jurors are just going to start to blame the defense and look like they're victim bashing, which is exactly what they're doing.
Weinstein's lead defense attorney responding, saying she's done nothing but defend her client.
Mr. Weinstein, again, has a right to a fair trial. I think she believes he's convicted already. That's not how this works.
Weinstein has pled not guilty and said any sexual relations were consensual. Today, the prosecution also made several references to 7 photographs they'd be introducing as evidence, not revealing what those show, but saying they'd be handled sensitively so as not to embarrass Weinstein. All the while, outside, several of Weinstein's accusers had gathered, wearing red, they say, to take their power back.
That we've come to this moment of justice is staggering. The trial means so much to so many.
In total, more than 80 women have accused Harvey Weinstein of some form of sexual misconduct, and today those LA investigators said they hope these new charges will inspire even more possible victims to come forward. Trevor Ault, ABC News, New York.
The Golden Globes were last night, but in case you missed it, here's a look at who took home an award. Now, let's get to what people are talking about right now. Brad Pitt won Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture for his role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Laura Dern took home the award for the Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture for Marriage Story and is currently streaming on Netflix, by the way. Renee Zellweger won Best Actress in a Motion Picture for Drama for her role in Judy, and Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama for his role in
This is
Joker.
Renee Zellweger's 4th win.
First Warning Weather is brought to you by Hamstra Heating and Cooling.
Well, Chandra, I think our weather over the weekend and into today deserves a Golden Globe Award. It was acting wonderfully because it gave us a lot of sunshine and warmed us up a little bit over the last few days. In fact, the high today in Tucson, 67 degrees. That's just a little bit above the average of 65 degrees. Did start out pretty chilly, though, 34 degrees this morning, and that is 5 degrees below this day's average of 39 degrees. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 7:25. It is no longer going to be coming up any later. We have reached that latest sunrise that we see. So now it's going to start going back the other way. So we're really going to start gaining some daylight around here. And right now it's 47 degrees in Tucson at the airport, 42 in Safford, 38 degrees in Wilcox. Overnight tonight, we'll see clear skies, chilly temperatures dropping into the upper 30s and lower 40s. We are already in the lower 20s at the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff, 28 degrees in Albuquerque, 59 in Yuma, and 62 degrees in Palm Springs. We really had a pretty quiet day across the nation today. Are seeing a few showers and a couple of thunderstorms popping up there around Tennessee and into Alabama and Mississippi. Saw a little bit of snow coming through Iowa, and then the main storm track remains well to our northwest over the Pacific Northwest, but that'll change by the end of the week as we've got another low pressure system moving in off of the Pacific. So let's break it down for you in the Futurecast. Some high clouds coming in here over the next couple of days, and then by Thursday, here comes that storm system with some valley rain and mountain snow developing by Thursday afternoon into Thursday night and continuing into Friday morning. Right now, it looks like the snow levels will start out around 5,000 feet, drop down to 3,500 feet, and we could see about 1 to 3 inches of snow accumulating on some of those higher mountaintops. In the valleys, we'll see probably around 1/4 of an inch of rainfall possible, and then this thing moves out of here pretty quickly. And it looks like a pretty nice weekend setting up for us again. Overnight lows tonight across Cochise County down into the 20s. We will see temperatures moderating a bit as we go to the west into the 30s and